Welcome to Hidden Knowledge Archive.
The hidden three-layer mind model of the ancient Greeks. What if everything you believe about your own mind is incomplete? More than 2,400 years ago, the ancient Greeks described a hidden psychological system, one so accurate that it predicted modern psychology centuries before it existed. They believed the human mind was not one voice, but three competing forces locked in constant struggle. This knowledge was never meant for everyone. It was taught only to philosophers, warriors, and rulers. And today, almost no one knows it still shapes your thoughts, desires, and fears. More than 2,400 years ago, long before brain scans, neuroscience, or therapy rooms existed. Ancient Greek philosophers such as Plato, Aristotle, and the early Stoics asked a dangerous question: what truly controls human behavior? They did not see the mind as a single, simple entity, but as a layered inner system, believing that most human suffering came not from external chaos, but from internal imbalance. To understand the soul, they mapped it, uncovering a three-layer model of the mind. A structure hidden deep within ancient philosophy, rarely explained openly, and so precise that its insights remain unsettlingly relevant to the modern world today. Logos was the first layer of the mind identified by the ancient Greeks, the realm of reason, logic, calculation, and conscious thought, the inner voice that plans the future, analyzes problems, and explains reality. Today, more than 90% of modern education systems train Logos. Nearly all corporate structures reward it, and entire civilizations are built upon its dominance. Yet over 2,400 years ago, Greek philosophers issued a quiet warning. When Logos rules alone, the mind becomes detached, anxious, and hollow. Intelligence increases, but meaning fades. Decisions become efficient, yet life feels empty. Logic can explain the world, but it cannot explain why living in it matters. And this imbalance, they believed, was the first crack in the human soul, a flaw still shaping modern society in ways few ever notice. Beneath Logos lies Themos, the hidden emotional force the ancient Greeks believed controlled over 60% of human motivation, the source of courage, pride, anger, and identity itself. This was the part of the soul that demanded meaning, recognition, and honor, not comfort. Greek warriors trained Themos with ruthless discipline, understanding that suppressed emotion becomes weakness, while mastered emotion becomes power. Plato warned that when Themos is ignored, humiliated, or denied purpose, the soul fractures. Restlessness turns into bitterness, ambition rots into resentment, and identity collapses silently. The Greeks believed this inner imbalance was not a minor flaw, but the true birthplace of despair, a hidden psychological descent that modern society still fails to recognize. At the deepest level of the human mind, the ancient Greeks identified a force called epithymia, the source of hunger, pleasure, fear, sex, and raw survival instinct, responsible for over 80% of unconscious human decisions each day. They did not consider epithymia evil, but dangerous because of its primitive power. In a few seconds of desire, reason can collapse. Through a single moment of fear, an entire life path can change. Greek philosophers warned that when epithymia rules the mind, humans become slaves to impulse. Yet when it is completely suppressed, it does not disappear. It retreats into the shadows, quietly shaping behavior, fate, and civilization itself. Ancient Greek philosophy taught that true mental balance did not come from happiness, pleasure, or positive thinking, but from a precise internal order that few humans ever mastered. They believed the mind was governed by three forces, and when even one dominated the others, mental collapse followed. Logos was meant to guide decisions with reason, Thymos to protect purpose, courage, and identity, and epithymia to serve survival, not rule it. When these three moved in harmony, the Greeks called it sophrosine, a rare state of inner mastery rather than emotion. Historical texts suggest that fewer than 1 in 100 individuals were believed capable of sustaining this balance, which is why it was taught only to philosophers, warriors, and future leaders. This forgotten rule of balance was not designed to make life comfortable, it was designed to make the mind unbreakable. and its disappearance may explain why modern society, despite progress, struggles more than ever with inner chaos. This ancient model of the human mind did not disappear by accident. It vanished because it demanded what most systems fear: discipline, radical self-awareness, and total inner responsibility. For over 2,000 years, Greek philosophers warned that when reason, emotion, and desire fall out of balance, suffering becomes inevitable. Yet as centuries passed, philosophy was simplified, emotion was misinterpreted, and human desire was either suppressed or deliberately exploited. The original mental map, once studied by thinkers like Plato and Aristotle, slowly faded from education, replaced by shallow explanations that treated the mind as a single mechanism instead of a fragile system. Today, despite unprecedented technology, anxiety, depression, and inner conflict continue to rise, proving one unsettling truth: the knowledge was forgotten, but the struggle never ended. Anxiety, burnout, addiction, and the loss of purpose now affect over 60% of modern adults. Yet the ancient Greeks would never have called these disorders. They called them signals, warnings that the inner balance of the mind had collapsed. Long before modern psychology, they understood that when reason, emotion, and desire fall out of harmony, suffering becomes inevitable. Perhaps the greatest mystery of our time is not how advanced modern psychology has grown in the last 100 years, but how much ancient wisdom humanity has forgotten over 2,000 years. The Greeks believed that to understand civilization, you must first understand the mind. And sometimes the oldest knowledge is the most dangerous to rediscover. If this video awakened something you were never taught, like subscribe and share, because some truths were buried for a reason. Not everyone is ready to face them.